I don't know whether I'm trying to work out whether it's all the crashes or it's actually just age. And when I speak to my brothers, they're like, no, it's age. Like, I don't know what I'm doing minute to minute already. Because they're sort of, I've got a couple of older brothers and one that's also in his 40s younger. But yeah, it's like, yeah, you don't remember anything after 40. Like, you're just literally just walking around like a fish.
Like a fish.
Well, and having Henley at an older stage of my life, the energy and brain waves she sucks out of my head, you can just blame it on Bo.
Yes, no, it's like, oh man, I got to get back to like doing some sort of like, memory test, memory training or something. I think like you're in school, you're doing schoolwork, and sometimes I have to try remember how to spell things, which is crazy. Like really basic stuff. Like how do you actually spell the? I was like, is the E before the H? I just can't remember.
Yeah. I was going to go with more complicated words like chicane.
Yeah, sometimes the real basic one, like, is that how you spell owl? Like, is it O-U-R? Is it? Was it O-A-R? I can't. Yeah.
Can you spell Penske?
No, I can definitely spell Penske. Yeah. But I don't put me on the spot. I can't. Here we go. Is this the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought we'd start rolling.
Is this the thing?
Are we like, this is what's going out? Oh my God. Yeah, I'm definitely not big, not with this stuff going out. Yeah, I won't be racing next year. I mean, there you go. He's got no memories. He's been on a binge of green tea. Yeah.
No, hold on. If this is going to go to air, I don't know where we're going to cut this interview, but truth be told, be told, no, it's all good. Truth be told, you are a student of the sport. You talk about your memory. We joke about that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a reason why you and Scott Dixon are at the top of the list for everything in IndyCar. You both study the sport. You take a win, you come home, you dissect it. You take last year's race, the year before that, you find the faults in it, you dissect it and figure out how to be better at that same track the next year. I don't think people are fully aware of that. And, you could throw out your age. That's such an old white dude way of thinking of, he's old, he's mid-40s. Yet you're at the top of your game because you never stop studying. Let's get that out there more.
No, that is exactly right. I've never stopped working hard at this, and I still am. I'm still learning. It's crazy after this many years that you are still picking stuff up, and just I think at this point it just gets more intricate. The little details that you're able to feel, and the inputs in the car, just the smallest of things that you would never have thought about. It's just that you've had so much time in it. I reckon any musician or anyone that has been doing their craft for that long would feel the same. I went and saw Louis C.K. the other night, and just an incredible, and that is just experience of a guy that has been doing that craft for that long. So whatever the discipline is, once you get over 20 years of it, man, you really, especially 20 years of the same car, same tire, and you're really finding little things that you never would have thought of, in the early days. So it is, it's just, oh man, I love it. I'm what you call a racing nerd, it just still do it, still feel like I'm in my 20s the way I approach it.
Well, it's interesting you say that. As the time has gone on, has it become easier to tear down your faults in a certain race and be able to make them better by the next weekend? Has that whole process just become more seamless, which is why you're so damn good?
Well, I would say the process of understanding where you're struggling, on a race weekend has, really been streamlined, been able to go out there and execute that. Yes. Yeah. All those little details. I think the biggest gain for me over this time is my mental game, how good I am mentally. Just, and that is not just, meant. I think just in life you get better. You just understand life a lot better by the time you're in your 40s, and that is, and that plays into how you emotionally take any ups and downs. I think you're just way more stable in that respect, and but also just how you deal with these high pressure situations. I was leading with a lot of pressure at the end of that race, and I was very calm. I was in a place that I've been so many times before, and in a place I enjoy, and you're just less prone to mistakes because of that. The way you are, the way mentally you are in those situations.
In talking about things have become more seamless through your experience, through age, through in general, there's things going in the IndyCar series right now that some drivers are upset at some of the younger drivers because they feel like there's some aggressive driving going on. And arguably, you could make an argument for either side. Who's the aggressor on either side of the equation here? Do you feel like there maybe needs to be some sort of a come to Jesus meeting of the veterans and the young guys? Or is this just part of the sport? Were you and Scott and Elio and Tony Kanaan, were you guys that way when you were younger and you just needed to learn better to be better?
The series is at a level where it's, I would say, this is what I'd say, that the toughest, the thing that is most effective to stop someone driving in a way that's probably overly aggressive or has many incidents is being called out in a driver meeting by his peers, by his fellow drivers. That puts a lot of pressure on a driver, to know that, hey, everyone around you thinks that you're, the Kyle Novak can say it, Max Pappas, these guys that are in race control. But when all your fellow drivers say you're too aggressive, man, that he gets called out sort of in the forum of everyone sitting together. I've noticed that is very effective. It's because you're always looking for approval from all your peers. I mean, that's competition. That's in life. So when you're called out, you really think about it. You really think, well, what's everyone think of me? Because I want respect in the paddock. But I don't want the opposite, where everyone thinks, I'm a wanker.
Well, hold on. I know, Kenny, you want to get into this. Did someone call you out in the past? And then second part of the question, is anyone calling out the Ferruccis or the Rasmussens, or has it been necessary?
Well, no, I actually haven't been called out. I've called out many people, but I can't remember whether I have had that. I just noticed at times, like, I just remember there was a driver at one point, that was racing the leader very hard, and it was sort of made fun of in the driver meeting, I think, and that stopped. And then everyone else thought the same, like, man, I don't want to be that guy. And they stopped doing it. I don't want to be the guy racing the leader hard when I'm going a lap down. So yeah, I guess it depends on the situation, but yes, there, it's, I just think it gets difficult when you start policing side by side racing. It gets, I just, I just say you got to look at every individual incident and understand the thinking of, the decision that race control came to. Usually they're very good. If you go up there, they will explain it. They'll go through the video and say, this is why we didn't or did penalize. And I think at one point we asked, well, could we do that the next week, the next race at the driver meeting, have it on screen, just quickly go through, this is the decisions we made and this is why this guy didn't get a penalty, and explain to the drivers so they kind of understand and know, the thinking of the stewards. So, yeah, I don't think they need to. I mean, it hasn't been too bad. I think people have been penalized fairly, and I'd say, yeah, that was a bit of a standout, was Connor Daly and Rasmussen. I kind of, the first one where they both ended up off the track, I was like, you could look at it where Rasmussen's wheel might have got ripped out of his hand, and that's why they both ended up off the track. And that's why it may not have been a penalty. The second one, just looking from the overview, Rasmussen's front wing touched Connor's rear wheel, or it was that. Yeah, I would be interested to see what race control, what their thinking was on that, because usually that is a penalty.
See, he's a study of the sport.
Will Power, the only Penske driver to win a race this year, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And one reason why we wanted to talk to you, Will, because you've been coming in here for damn near 20 years. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary. And we know your personality to a degree. And your personality post-race, it didn't scare me, but it was like Will's talking to somebody. Will just won an important race, but Will wasn't Will after typically winning a race. And it's probably uncomfortable for you to watch this, but watch this and you'll see where I'm coming from. But this isn't the Will Power coming in the Freak Nation.
Yeah, I mean, I won 3 races last year. So if you're a team, if you're waiting on me to know if I'm good enough, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, if you're actually waiting, it's like, yeah, is this guy? I'm not sure if this guy's good enough. Just go back to last year, and you'll know.
Yeah. What you want me
to? No. Will,
yeah.
We know you, man, and you're one of our favorites of all time. Your dry sense of humor, your ability to start shit when you don't even mean to. It's just fantastic. But when I saw that, it took me 24 hours and I thought, he's not talking to the dude who asked that question. He's talking to his boss. Am I wrong?
No, that's not necessarily true. I'm just, that's a tough question. I mean, I'd had that question a lot, and like all season I've been asked these questions. I guess I was a little bit frustrated with getting those questions constantly. So I suppose that's why I answered that way. But I did win 3 races last year, and I thought that anyone else in the paddock would get signed up at that. So yeah, no, it was it's been I would say it has been a very stressful year for me.
Yeah.
Very stressful. Just from, I believe I'm good enough, and so but that was just as probably a lapse of, maybe shouldn't have said that, but it's probably what I felt in the moment with those questions continually coming to me all the time. I was just about had enough of it.
True.
Yeah.
Well, something else I learned, and I think we've all been in this spot. When I was doing radio rock shows across the country or doing news in Los Angeles, there was always a guy who hired me, the news director or the program director. And from time to time, that program director or news director would get fired, and I'd be scared shitless that I was going to lose my job because he's the one who hired me, and a new dude's going to come in and not appreciate what I do. And I heard once Tim Cindric left, the guy who talked to you about extension says, hey, man, we'll talk about it at the end of 24. When Tim Cindric left, did you have any inclination that there was going to be an issue, or did you feel that same way that I did? Like, my guy's gone, man. There's going to be an issue signing a contract with Penske.
I wouldn't say. I think, Tim was a very good mediator, between the team and Roger. So, yeah, it was a very interesting time. I kind of was wondering how that's gonna, what they're gonna do there. Who's going to be that guy that you speak to? And I would say there's probably a bit of confusion there for a while. Like, who do you actually talk to? Because you wouldn't usually just call Roger. You'd call Tim, you'd speak to Tim, and Tim would kind of give you the updates on, what he thinks is going to happen. So, but they did move that, they move the appropriate people forward, up and so on.
So the person that came in for Cindric, didn't talk to you for a year and a half or whatever it was. Right?
No, well, Tim, what do you mean, Tim?
Well, you said that you said that after 2024 they were going to talk to you about an extension.
Yes,
but you've had no conversation about an extension since Tim Cindric left.
I've had no, that's not true. That is not true. I spoke to Roger after Detroit.
Ah,
I did.
okay.
Yeah, and he sort of, said we'll talk in August. So yeah, no, that's not true. Like after the whole May thing, obviously a lot went down in May, and there's a lot of restructuring and all that. So I didn't really expect to, hear much in that time, in that period. But no, Roger, we sat down at the race team and talked about what the future may be. So yeah, no, they did that.
I guess where I'm a little confused is, at least from what I've picked up from articles and some things, maybe what you said to Bob Pockras on Friday of the Portland weekend, is that you are unable to talk to other teams, but you are also unable to know your status on your current team. Nothing until the end of the season. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. That seems odd to me. Isn't that odd to you?
Yeah.
That's not true. What I was saying is, sat down with Roger. Yes, I could talk to other teams. Roger basically said that's okay, but obviously can't sign or do anything till after the season. So yeah, no, that's not exactly true. That is not exactly true. He said, basically said, I'm not going to shoot you if you go and talk to other teams while we work out what's going to happen here. So, no, that he did, he said that. And then, obviously I, can't sign or anything with other teams, but I could kind of see what's out there.
Okay, good. That provides clarity, because the perception was that you can't talk to others, but you also can't talk to your current team. Thank you for that clarity.
No.
But regardless, it doesn't reduce the stress, unfortunately, that you're under. And it's just pulling out that win. And like you just told us at the beginning of this interview, how you were in your happy spot. Everything was just clear those last several laps. Maybe a little stressful, but clear. Wow. How do you do it? I mean, I know that's such a simple question, but I don't think it's a simple answer.
I have been in that spot many times, because usually at the end of the race, we don't have a blue flag rule. I had used tires and the other two had new tires. So, we'd played our cards early. We'd, started on new tires and picked the strategy to go long, so at the end of the day, picking the new tires early was good, got a massive gap. But yeah, we knew at some point we're going to be, have to deal with used tires. But I thought, like, if it was clear, I was pretty confident we would pull away. But having traffic, the tires deg more. But it was, to me, like I said, it was like business as normal. I'd been in that position so many times. It was just being mistake free, being smart with the gap to Ericsson. And then once I got by him, Simpson, like just picking your time to pass those people, not using an unnecessary push to pass, like burning seconds if you weren't going to execute the pass. So I watched carefully and waited for Ericsson to struggle a little, then go. I think those drivers hate doing that. Like Marcus sent me a text after. He's like, sorry, man. Ultimately it is the rule. It is, I kind of feel like it after, 15 to go, 20, 15 go, last stint, basically, these, you're not going to come back. If it goes yellow, you're not going to come back and get, 10 spots or something like that. No, maybe you get one or two, but yeah, I think maybe it almost needs to be a bit of a gentleman's agreement. You're not going to burn push to pass trying to keep the leader behind you, but that is the rule in IndyCar. Sometimes that helps you. You're the one chasing the leader, and you can't really complain. When you're in that position, because it's helped you at some point. So Yeah, it is frustrating though. When you're leading, you're like, "Woof, man, look at all those lap cars that don't have to get out of my way. They can do what they want." So yeah, it was just, yeah. I mean, but that's IndyCar, man. That's IndyCar.
Freak Nation. His name, of course, is Will Power. Been coming in here for many, many years. Always frank with us here in the Freak Nation. It is somewhat a relief, and we get, and Will, we don't hang out. Will, I get that. We don't pal around and drink warm beer and eat raunchy and talk about our kids, but there is a connection that we have to you, and we just took this stuff. We take this stuff a little differently too than we would a freaking Rasmussen or somebody. So it's good to get some clarity from you, I got to say, in this interview.
No, it's no, I've enjoyed coming on your show for years. It's always been fun, because I enjoy to joke around. This has always been that's been my family, man. My dad had a great sense of humor. Brother's stand-up comedian. So we always did have a laugh at people's expense. It was very enjoyable. So. Especially your brothers.
There was one time we talked to you a year or two ago, maybe, and your brother Damien was actually working on potentially a script with the group in New York. Is that any further down the road where IndyCar may benefit?
Well, so that script, so I think HBO paid him to sort of write those seasons, and then HBO was bought by someone, a split, so he got that script back. He could resell it, but in the off season, we did a short film which he's entering into film festivals together, and so that's completed now. Short film, it's like 20 minutes. It's actually not a comedy. It was a serious piece. It was difficult acting. I acted myself in it. And it was actually very draining when it's not, where it's not lighthearted. It's quite deep in a way.
Is it about you? Is it a racing short flick?
It is actually about me. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's no bullshit, Will.
Yeah. What? No, I'm not. Did you say it's no bullshit? No, that's for real. We did that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm stoked now. So it's not public anywhere. I would imagine it's not on like YouTube or something, but it's going to be entered into the film festivals, the circuit starting, I would assume, the beginning of 26?
No, like he was trying to get it entered for a film festival. It's a big one coming up. I can't remember. One of those big Cannes or whatever it is.
Cannes is May, Sundance. Sundance is
I think it's there must be one coming up, like, because he's working really hard to get the sound done.
Oh, wow.
Like this week type thing. Cool. So I don't know what film festival that was, but he's going to enter it in as many as possible. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know what any of us as fans can do on this end of it to flood the inboxes of people who vote, but that's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it is. It was interesting. It was kind of, it made me realize how lucky I am to be a driver. Like a lot of people, like, I want to be an actor. I think it'd be awesome. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be an actor, man. Like it's grueling because you spend the whole day doing these scenes over and over and over from different angles and so on. And you get to the end of the day and it's like, yeah, you got 6 more days. And where a race, you go do a race and you finish, you're just like, that was just so awesome. Like you drive a car for a day, like you go testing, it was just awesome. You feel awesome after it. Mm-hmm. But at the end of filming, you feel like crap. You're like, oh, I don't want to do anymore. This really sucks. I think what people want is money and fame. But I actually realize, like, I'm sure people are really into the craft of acting, which is kind of like, I got insight into that, which I enjoy, but man, it's grueling. It is grueling. I can't imagine doing a full film. Like these guys would just have to like learn scripts and do it like that. It is not as satisfying as a weekend at the racetrack, like racing, not even close. Like getting paid to be a race car driver is way better than getting paid to be an actor. I promise you.
It's a whole different mental game.
What if your brother comes in and says, Will, that bear rug on your couch, the only way that I can get Margot Robbie in my movie with you is you've got to pretend to make love to her.
Oh, goodness.
Would you do that for your brother?
Show me on the bear rug.
What, this bear rug?
Yeah, with Margot Robbie.
But it's not even the same one. I don't know what happened to that bear rug. It was kind of like my wife must have she must have seen the episode and got a bit embarrassed. She had a bear rug on that. It was, but mind you, I love animals. I've never killed an animal.
I know.
But yeah, she got rid of it. I don't know what happened. It was silent. It wasn't like she didn't say, yeah, I'm getting rid of this. It was just like gone. So
could you imagine doing a nudie scene with some other chick as you're married in a movie? That's just the strangest to me.
It's odd.
That would be interesting. I think Liz wouldn't be for that. Like the original script, my brother had me with I had a child early in my career, and went back and saw the mother. I don't know, something, but she's like, yeah, you're not doing that. You're not doing that script.
Look at Liz with creative control. I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, it was. Oh man, well, the reason we're doing these films is it was so interesting growing up in Toowoomba, this small blue collar town, and and I think it's interesting to my brother, the fact that I actually made it to this level in motorsport, because to know me as a teenager, there's just no way you'd go, that guy made it there. Like I was such a nut. So, in a pretty crazy town. It was a pretty crazy town. There's a lot of let's say, a lot of fighting, it's just an interesting place to grow up. It was really cool, but it would be a good movie.
Is it a rags to riches type story?
Full movie. It's just more like, once I left Toowoomba, it's just crazy how different, the rest of the world was. That's kind of how I felt. Like it took a long time to get the Toowoomba out of me. It's still a bit in me, as you know, when you see some interviews and so on, and some of the things I've done over the past, but that was me all the time back in the day.
So the double birds was Toowoomba?
That was very much Toowoomba, yeah.
Okay.
That was very much, but more than that, it's fighting and a lot of hardcore stuff. Yeah, it was just a very tough town. Let's say very, very tough blue collar town. Very tough. And you were judged on your ability to fight. That's sort of how your status was. That's where you stacked up. Like, is he a good fighter? That's the first thing you would ask when you met someone new. It's like, hey, this new guy, like, I've been hanging out with this guy. Is he a good fighter? That was like at school, at primary school, it was always about, is he a good fighter? That was a very normal thing in that town. So that's when I left Toowoomba, I just realized that that's not normal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but seriously, it's not normal. But that was the thing then. As we grew up as kids, starting from a very young age, you're judged on your fighting abilities. Like,
well, you say that it's hard to believe, or maybe for some people back home, that you've made it to the big stage now, but actually that helped lay the foundation for you. You're not a fighter in the physical sense now, but you fight for everything in your sport, and you do it successfully because of the mental mindset that was basically beat into you, pun intended, when you were a kid.
I would say coming from that town, you felt that you had to work extra hard. There's no question. It's like, how could you get from that small town to, racing IndyCar at Indianapolis? I mean, that was, I think that's what's interesting about that story. It was just never was planned. It wasn't like there's never in a million years, if you'd asked me when I was 20 that, you said you'd be racing IndyCars for Penske, it just wouldn't have been, thought. Unlike some people you pick in go-karts, like this guy's going to be really good, from a very young age. So it's a different, it's just an interesting story, I think, that could be written really well.
By Damian Power.
By Damien Power. He writes scripts every day. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not a liar.
Oh, stop. Kenny.
But I'm not a liar.
What is he saying? Come on.
He's saying
You can't hear it?
No, I got to unmute it. You only put up for a second, so I can't.
Well, it's real quick. Unmute it. Here we go.
No, I know. I'm trying to.
All right, here we go.
But I'm not a liar.
Oh, but I'm not a liar. Okay, I gotcha. There you go.
That's just a drop we play every now and then just to catch people off guard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
it is funny. The drops that we typically play are Penske drops. We have another one of Joey Logano with this wicked Halloween laugh, and we play that one all the time too.
Who's laughing now?
He certainly looked like he was getting into it. I can't hear it. It's so annoying.
That is annoying.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah, do.
Hey, before we get out of here, we have a very special guest that would like to ask you a question. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, Will, this is Hambone Henley. You're a championship driver, so how do you balance racing and your family? Because your schedule is bananas. How do you balance it?
I bring the family with me. That's how I balance it. They're there all the time to see all the craziness of racing. The circus that goes around to each place. It's very, it's fun.
And I gotta ask, your son, Bo, is he also gonna be a race car driver?
Definitely not. I think it's into some sort of music or something. Maybe he will, but I doubt it. He's very tall. So probably, I can't go through a whole nother career of that stress. I just couldn't.
Oh, interesting.
But Will, you don't put it out there, but you help a lot of younger drivers with financial help or insight to different racetracks. I think Miles Rowe was one of them that
I think Dennis Hager.
Hager. That's a big deal, and it's something that a lot of folks don't know. But it's awesome to know that you're taking time out to better these careers of these younger drivers.
Yeah, I do. I take great interest in it. I still go to the go-kart track and run around in go-karts. It's just, I mean, I understand how difficult it is at that point of your career. You don't have time to make mistakes. It's like, it is such a pressure cooker, honestly. I got, there's Miles Rowe, Lockie Hughes, as an Australian guy, Max Garcia, Penske helps him, but I watch those guys carefully. I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's cool seeing the next generation coming up, and it's awesome when you stumble across someone you think is going to be exceptional, because it's very difficult to find a Palou level type of driver, especially, you think about Palou, his age, to be that, that complete as a driver. To find those sort of drivers. Now, Connor Zilic was one that I thought, that is America's next F1 guy. Like, I really did. I thought it was a pity. Like, I think that, I don't know if he has a contract with Chevrolet, but that's your guy, man. That's your guy for that Cadillac F1 seat. Like, put him in open wheelers, put him in, I guess you could do it through IndyCar, you could do it through Europe, but I think he is exceptional. It's just a guy. I actually raced karts with him, against him, but I just could see from the outset, this guy is going to be very, very good. Like, that's the guy. That is, if you're going to back a guy, I think he's the one.
Tell me why. Tell me
F1.
Tell me why.
He just has an incredible amount of natural ability, but he's also very intelligent and analytical, and even on the off-track stuff, as far as how well-spoken he is, but that doesn't matter. It's more about his talent, and that guy was the one I thought that that's the guy they could have had go to Formula One. You could put him in. You could put him almost straight into IndyCar, and I think he'd be competitive. But you could, do a year of Indy next, and then IndyCar, and then F1. But that's the guy you want to be training up. I thought it was it was a pity. It was, I think he's going to be exceptional in NASCAR, and that's a great career. But, we've been looking for a good, like a top level American driver, man.
Yeah.
We've been looking for an American driver and go over there and win. I reckon he could be the one.
Man, this is 40 minutes. I'm sorry we took so damn long. There's so much to hit, dude. God,
Yeah, I don't have a job, so I mean, a drive. I do have a job. I'm just saying, like, I don't have. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
We're not going to air. We're not going to. Don't worry.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
This is-
It's. I do have a job. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I don't. When race car drivers like, oh, I'm really busy. I'm like, no, you're not. I've always said that. I've always amused me. Like guys like Newgarden and McLaughlin's like, I'm so busy, I can't. I'm like, what do you do? I mean, you're paid a lot of money just to be good in a race car. You can't be like having any business interests or whatever. But yeah, I've always given them, give them crap. Like when a driver
I'm not
goes,
a liar.
I'm too busy. It's like, yeah, I'm like, kind of like, yeah, that is funny. It's very, very funny because I know for myself, I've always got time, a lot of time. And there's always been that, I go sit on here for 2 hours. And it would not matter. It wouldn't do, like, it'd be just perfectly fine. The time I don't have time is after a race when I'm racing to get to a flight. That's when I don't have time. You can get me anytime at my house. Yeah.
Well, this isn't a joke, but it kind of is a joke. There was a famous football coach that I think was USC at the time. Now he coaches for the Longhorns. That was denied a ride on the team's plane. Nashville, if you're denied a ride on the team's plane, I think you might know your fate, right?
Well, that started to happen. Ever since Tim Centric and Kyle Moyer and Ron left, it's been a lot harder for me to get on the team plane. That's true. Kyle Moyer always got me a spot and my wife, which was awesome. But I will say I got on the flight home from Portland, so and my wife did, which is awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Is it you that needs to talk to people in the off time, or is it your agency? Is it the Alonso and Servia group that needs to do the talking? Because that's also an odd position for you.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, who's doing negotiating for you behind closed doors right now?
There's not really any negotiating going on. We just, it'll be after the season. It's just, that's when everything's calmed down. It's easier. So, nothing's changed and nothing's happening until after the season. That's when I'll know exactly what's going on. So, and that's when Oriole and that group can, start working on stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I hope they're ready to fight. I don't care where you land next year. I just hope it's a damn good contract and you're ready to put up more wins.
Yeah, I'm always like I said, I'm as good as I've ever been, and I love the sport, and I want to continue in it, and I can still deliver really good results. I have not slow. I'm better than I've ever been. I keep saying it, and it's actually true.
Yep,
That's true. I'm not. It's not just saying it's to get it right. I'm saying it because I know it. If I wasn't competitive, I wouldn't want to continue. I'd be done. Yeah.
We've heard this scenario. Is there a scenario that you know of that Malukas is going to have one car with Penske and there might be another car for you? Have you heard that scenario?
Yeah, I've heard many scenarios, do I end up at Foyt or I don't know. Nothing has, that's just rumor stuff, There's been nothing said about what exactly is going to happen. So, like I said, you'll know after the season. Nothing's changed.
Golly.
Yeah.
No, I just want to see. I want to see wins. I just want to see wins next year.
Yeah. No, that's always good. No matter what happens, I'll be, I'm one that goes all in. That's why I have no other distractions. It's always
Right.
about, yeah, it's been the beauty, Liz is meeting, from the outset, she was just a true racer in herself. Like, she took a lot of the outside distractions away. Sometimes, some of these drivers meet a partner that wants, says you don't spend enough time and all that. And I got the opposite with Liz. I was very lucky, and I think through all this, Liz has been incredible. Just so, I kind of feel bad that she takes on the stress too at times. Or she's had her own struggles with health. So been very lucky to have Liz, man. Like, she is such a great companion.
Yeah, you guys have something special. It is wicked cool. But does she still wear like Justin Wilson t-shirts? I remember back in the day, she used to wear your competitors' shirts.
Yeah, she was, Justin's PR. She had Mike Conway. She knew a lot of the drivers. She's just a big fan of the sport and loves everyone in the paddock. And I think she would be a fantastic manager. Between her and Oriel, that's a fierce team. She's very good. From the very beginning, when I got my job with Penske, she's the one that prepped me for the interview. Told me what to wear and how to be. Like, she definitely knows the stuff on that front. She would be a fantastic manager. She helps young drivers as well. She does. She was a part of the miles thing, and Lockie Hughes will call and she'll help them out with how they should tackle certain aspects of dealing with the pressure of next year and contracts and so on. So yeah, it's just incredible. You meet someone that's so brought up very similarly to me, the family. It's very similar to me, honestly. Obviously a very different place, but held very similar values. So yeah, I was very lucky. Very lucky.
Wow, that goes far back.
Yep.
I didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you guys met years later, but okay. Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did she meet the small town willpower that just wanted to fight?
She did meet a small town. Yes. Yeah. She definitely made me a much, she's just, I was so shielded from what true, let's say corporate, or how you should be corporately, I would say, that was her. Like, she was in PR, but she just knew how, like, just to dress, honestly, how your appearance should be. The first time I went to a Christmas party, I wore jeans and like everyone else had sport coat, and like I was so Toowoomba. I just didn't know how you should look. It was just so, oh my God. It's funny, It's funny. Liz,
Well,
like,
post-COVID, everybody's wearing joggers and jeans anymore, thanks to COVID. So you're good again.
I've still got that Toowoomba deal. Like, not Toowoomba, just like I do just wear sweatpants everywhere. I'm not a how I look sort of guy.